Councillor Roman, we're live already.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Townships of North Dumfries Public Planning Meeting. We have two Committee of Adjustment applications for this evening's meeting. Members of the public have been registered before the registration deadlines for all items have been provided with a link and a telephone number to join the virtual meeting this evening, and have indicated to staff which application they would like to participate in. Okay. Staff will move these individuals who have registered into the meeting to speak in the order of the application being heard. It is due to COVID-19 and recommendations by Waterloo Region Public Health to exercise social distancing and public gathering thresholds. Township public meetings are currently being held by teleconference. Members of the public have been provided with the following methods to watch and participate in this open meeting electronically. First, watch the live stream by accessing the meeting through the Township's website. You do not need a YouTube account to watch the live stream. You cannot directly participate in the meeting via the live stream, as this is for viewing only. Second, members of the public who are interested in attending as an observer or wish to speak to an item were to submit the request in writing to the Clerk's Division before 7 p.m. on May 25th. A link and telephone number has been provided to those who registered before the registration deadline. Thirdly, members of the public who wanted to comment on a particular item but were not able to attend the meeting virtually were invited to submit written comments to the Clerk's Division, which would then be provided to the Mayor and Council prior to the meeting. I'd now like to call this meeting to order, and I would like approval of the agenda, please.
As moved by Councillor Gillespie and seconded by Councillor Rollman, that Council adopt the May 26, 2020 public meeting agenda as presented. Mayor Foxton?
Yes.
Councillor Rollman?
Yes.
Councillor Osner?
Yes.
Councillor McCreary?
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you. I'd like to ask now, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Adoption of the minutes, please.
Moved by Councillor McCreary and seconded by Councillor Osner, that Council approve the public planning meeting minutes dated April 27th, 2021. Mayor Foxton?
Yes.
Councillor Rollman?
Yes.
Councillor Osner?
Yes.
Councillor McCreary?
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you. Now we will move to adjourn the council and go into committee of adjustment.
Moved by Councillor Osner and seconded by Councillor McCreary that the council meeting be adjourned at 7:03 p.m. To sit as committee of adjustment for the purposes of holding public meetings pursuant to the provisions of the Planning Act. Mayor Foxton?
Yes.
Councillor Rollman?
Yes.
Councillor Osner?
Yes.
Councillor McCreary?
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you. And now we will approve the committee of adjustment meeting minutes for April 27th.
Moved by Councillor Gillespie and seconded by Councillor Rollman that the Committee of Adjustment approve the minutes dated April 27th, 2021. Mayor Foxton?
Yes.
Councillor Rollman?
Yes.
Councillor Osner?
Yes.
Councillor McCreary?
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie?
Yes.
That carries.
And now we'll pause for a few minutes while our people moved in and out yet.
Yes.
Cynthia, are we ready to go?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, report number PD-31-2021, consent application B-04/20 for 250 Northumberland Street. Notice has been given to those who have requested it. The Secretary Treasurer will record everyone who has commented on this application, attended, and or have registered with the clerk division to attend the meeting this evening. These individuals will be notified of the decision or convening of future meetings. And now I'd like to introduce Shahid Magal, Township Planner, who will be presenting this application. Shahid, please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, and Administration. This evening, I will be presenting the recommendation report regarding property 250 Northumberland Street. The consent application is B-04/20. Just to give you some background of the property and overview of the project and how the staff come up with the recommendation. November 24th, 2020, staff presented the report to provide the overview of the project and solicit comment from the member of public, department, and agencies. So based on that public meeting in November 24th, staff is presenting the recommendation report for committee consideration on merits of the application. So the property is located on the west side of the Northumberland Street, which is municipally known as 250 Northumberland Street. Property is approximately 1,867 square meter in size, with corresponding lot frontage of 34.84 meters along Northumberland Street. Currently, the existing property contains a single-detached dwelling and detached garage at the rear side of the property, and the balance of the property is landscape and grass. So the property is also serviced by municipal water and sanitary sewer. Just to give you some background or some overview of the project proposal, the applicant is proposing two severed lot. One is one retained lot and one severed lot. The proposed new lot is approximately 14.66 meter of frontage on the Northumberland Street, with the corresponding lot area 712.7 square meter. And the retained lot would be approximately 20.9 meter of frontage on the Northumberland Street, with corresponding lot area 1,156 in size. Currently, the property is zoned as Zone 4A, urban residential, which require minimum lot area 800 square meter and minimum lot frontage 18 meter. So if the property, the several property deficient in lot area and lot frontage, so if it's approved, it will require the minor variance. The public meeting notice has been circulated within 120 meter radius of the subject property. Staff didn't receive any comments concern from the neighboring property. However, in the last public meeting, November 24, 2020, one of the adjacent property owner raised their concern regarding increasing density, and the property will be impacted by sight and sounds. As you can see on the map, you can see the subject property here. So staff understand that this is the property Mr. Schmidt raised the concern. So you can see only quarter portion of the subject property is directly behind the subject property. So if the property is severed, so the number of lot won't increase directly behind Mr. Smith property. So only the severed lot will be behind the Mr. Smith lot, and the remaining retained lot will be directly behind the northern portion of the southern portion of the another property of the adjacent property owner. So it won't negatively impact to the Mr. Schmidt property. The concern there is that the number of lot will increase directly behind their property. So staff also circulated the application package to agencies and department, and staff didn't receive any concern from any department and agencies. So staff Also did a technical analysis and also reviewed the statutory documents, and also based on the comments and concerns received from agencies and the member of public. So staff understand that the proposed consent application confirm with the provincial, regional, and township statutory plan. These plans basically encourage development in the settlement area, and the property is within settlement area boundary and also in a built-up area in a air. As I mentioned, that no comments concern received from any member of public, except I mentioned. Staff also didn't receive any comments concern from any department and agency. Staff understand the proposed lot size and dimension of the proposed several lot is considered compatible with the adjacent property. So if you see 19 March 2017, there's the committee also approved a consent application for the neighboring property, which is I think 277 Northumberland, 244 Northumberland Street. And that lot frontage was 13.4 meter. And the lot we are, the proposed lot have a lot frontage of 14.66, which is more than what the committee also approved in March 2017. And this is compatible with the other property in the neighboring area as well. And if you see the Gore State subdivision, so 2 out of 3 Gore subdivision lot are in frontage onto the Northumberland Street, and their lot frontage is around 16 meter, approximately 16 meter. So the applicant is proposing 14.66 meter lot frontage, and if you compare with the Gore State subdivision lot, which is frontage of the Northumberland Street, there's only the difference minor in nature, which is 1.34 meter, like 4 feet. So as I mentioned, that the proposed lot is compatible with the average lot frontage of the various property on the Northumberland Street. The subject lands are also suitable for the proposed purposes, provided the requested condition with the respect to servicing, grading, drainage, access, noise attenuation can be fulfilled through condition of the proposed consent. The condition will also include respect of architectural design, which will be compatible with the neighboring area as well. And as I mentioned, the property, the several lot is deficient in lot size and lot frontage, which can be addressed through the minor variance application. And our staff also included the condition with the report, which is quite standard condition. For example, the applicant will provide the survey plan. The owner will pay the township any outstanding taxes. And as I mentioned, if the consent application approved, the applicant will apply for minor variance to address the lot frontage and lot size area. And plus, there's a retained lot proposing 1.90 side yard. So the applicant also need to apply for minor variance because the zoning bylaw required 2.4 meter, and the applicant proposing 1.90. So the applicant will apply to meet that side yard standard as well. So based on that planning analysis, staff is recommending the committee of adjustment that subject application be approved, subject to the condition noted in the recommendation section of the report, which is already submitted to the committee. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Shahid. Is it Fatty? Shahid, can you not show your screen, please? Thank you.
Yes, it's Fatty.
Fatty, yeah, would you like to say anything?
No, I have nothing else to add.
Okay. We have a member of the public, Alfred. Do we have Alfred?
Alfred isn't here today. He's on his way. He was caught up in another meeting.
Okay. Members of the committee, any comments? Councilor Rollman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The only question I have is, previously we looked at 244 Northumberland Street, I think around 2 years ago. And one of the concerns raised by the region at that time was the proximity of this new driveway access to Guthrie Street. And now we see here at 250 that this new driveway will be basically side by side with the existing driveway, and both driveways are entering and exiting directly in the intersection at Guthrie. So I'm just wondering, how are we going to, is there any plan to mitigate the effects of additional traffic in that intersection, or what's the plan here? I know the region in the past had insisted on 244 sharing one driveway. And here in this case, they're not asking for that. So I just wanted clarification from the planning department on that.
Shahid, please.
So through Madam Mayor, Councillor Rollman, that application packet also circulated to region, and region asked, the applicant need to provide the access permit, but they didn't raise any concern regarding the additional driveway.
CEO McNeely.
Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Rollman. Staff do recall the concerns expressed by the region originally at 244 Northumberland Street. And in fact, we went back to the region to confirm their comments related to this application, just because of their inconsistency in their approach. And they reaffirmed that they had no issues or concerns with the driveway, or a second driveway access to serve the proposed severed lot.
If I may, Shahid, will you put up the page that shows the houses and the purple lines outlining where the houses and the homes are? Can you go to the next one? It gave the full street, it gave more. I thought it gave more. There we go. I'm very concerned with the smaller houses. I'm wondering if we're setting a precedent. So that one right there where your marker is on, is that 244 that Councilor Rollman was talking about? To me, in hindsight, I don't think we should have passed that. And I think if we pass this one as well, we are setting that type of precedent. We're making the new standard, for our home size lots. And I find that a little frightening. We already talk about the dangers of Northumberland Street, the traffic. We had a lengthy discussion on the flows of traffic and how the region are working on protecting the cars and turning left and right, but we don't have a lot of pedestrian protection. I just wanted to bring that up to council. And when you talked about the McDonald property, it's a separate subdivision type thing. So they don't have the larger lots and then squeezing it. This looks like we're squeezing in lots, in my opinion. We're trying to squeeze in lots. We all know this is a profitable time to try and build houses so that people can make fast money. But we also have to remember what we want from our community and how we want it established. Councilor Rollman, you make an excellent point in the driveways coming out near Guthrie Street and such. And this one is right at Guthrie Street. Yeah, I have concerns. Does Councilor, now, thanks, Shahid, you can take that down, please. And Councilor Osner, I see your hands up. Councilor Osner?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this lot, how does it compare to, let's say, the lots up on Hilltop in the way of size when it comes to certain size lots? Because, for example, we had some pretty small lots that we approved for Manley Street. We had a small lot that we approved for 244 Northumberland Street. Another small lot, this appears to be another small lot. However, I mentioned on Manley Street, when we talked about Manley Street, the precedents we set there, I expressed my concern at that time that we're setting precedents. You can't say to one or two that, yeah, okay, you can do it. And then the third one, yeah, you can do it. And then the fourth one, no, you can't, because, this is setting a precedent. Well, we've already set the precedent for Manley Street. We've already set the precedent on other parts of town. I don't like small lots. I never had liked small lots. I think it takes away from the small town feel and puts it into a denser population. However, how can you stop it when we've already approved several small lots? I mean, the damage is done.
If I may respond to that, and then Councilor Gillespie, your turn. We also said we had to match the character of the neighborhood. So in the Manley Street one, I believe there's a couple lots just that small across from those same ones. As I was trying to, 244 never sold. That lot is never sold. It's never, no one ever bought it. And so I'm concerned that if we start to squeeze in and don't match the neighborhood, we're defeating our own type of priority. I have Councillor Gillespie and then I have Councillor Osner. The public meeting for heat is over, so it's now council's turn. So,
Okay,
Councillor Gillespie.
yes. I think everybody knows that I'm not in favor of small lots either. And after the discussion last night about the amount of traffic on Northumberland, I think it's really not wise to put another driveway onto it to start off with. And I said, I don't believe I think we're just ruining things by putting all these small lots in. I didn't agree with the one on Manley Street, and I likely won't agree with this one either. So, thank you.
Councillor Osner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, how can Shahid or Andrew just basically, can you give me an idea how this lot size compares to a lot size up at Hilltop? For example, the new Bruce development and most of the development up in that area where the lots are very small with the single family. Does it compare or is it smaller?
CAO McNeely.
Madam Mayor, if I was to look at the Hilltop subdivision built or the emerging Legacy or Bruce subdivision along the southern tier of Ayr, this lot, both by frontage and by area, are substantially larger. Generally, the lots in Bruce, Legacy, and Hilltop are 11 to 12 meters in frontage. This property is 14.66 meters in frontage. So, it is a wider lot. It is a much deeper lot as well. And so the lot area is approximately 712 square meters, which is substantially larger, largely comprised because of the depth of the property.
Thank you.
My point was that all those houses up there were built consistently, so they're consistent amount of each other. Well, now we're taking a neighborhood, and that's why I had him show the map with the purple lining. And then there's these 244, and this one's 250 that are out of character. So we're setting the precedent for an area. We said as a council, we would match the neighborhood. That was our set. So Hilltop is all consistent. Okay.
Can I continue? Sorry, can I continue with one?
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to get that information from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. So again, I understand the problem with small lots and character, etc. The Places Grow Act supports it. The region supports it. The infill is supported all the way around. I just, it's not that I would like to see this all over every street, but it's happening. And it's happening because the rules are letting it happen. And I'm worried if we start picking and choosing to which one that we can allow it to happen to, we're going to run into an issue and a problem. Not only potential problems, but also public perception issues. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I can't see how, again, we can pick and choose. Like
Councilor McCreary and then Councilor Roman.
I would just like to follow up on the comment that Councillor Rowland made about the driveway being right across from Guthrie, I just took another look at that picture and I see what he says, and it does look like quite a concern. And I noticed that in the Region of Waterloo letter that we were given in our package, they make a comment on the second page of the letter that the existing access must be closed. That's when they were talking about the driveways. Can anyone provide any more information about what that means? Does the retained lot have to have a new driveway? Does it have to be moved over?
CEO McNeely.
So, Madam Mayor, through to Councilor McCreary, the existing driveway straddles the proposed lot line between the severed and retained lot. And we've actually framed a condition that requires a portion of that driveway to be removed because we can't have it straddle the property line in its present configuration. And then we've narrowed it because we want to have a transition, grade and drainage between the residual of the asphalt surface and the proposed lot line. The region will require what they call an access permit. That's any work occurring in their right of way, whether that be a driveway access, a reshaping of a driveway, and or the new water or sanitary laterals that would be required to service the proposed severed lot.
Councilor Roman.
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to follow up on the comment that you made, Madam Mayor, about matching the neighborhood. If we look at page 8 of the report, there's a drawing there of the proposed house. And when we look at the established building line is drawn from the existing porch on the existing building. And that means the garage on the proposed building is now in line with that porch. I would argue that that porch was added after, and the building line should actually be off the front of the house, not the front of the porch. And the garage should be pushed back. I'd like to see, as you said, Madam Mayor, keep it matching with the rest of the street. The garage in this case is very prominent. It's very forward. The rest of the houses on the street don't have that. So if we want to follow up on the comment of keeping it matching, and this is maybe something we can look at, because arguing about the size of the lot, as we've already talked about, there's lots of precedent for smaller lots. But where we can be consistent is in talking about matching the neighborhood, following those building lines, looking at how garages are placed, looking at how the architecture, if it's a 1.5 story or if it's a 2 story, and keeping it similar in that context. And that's something that the Heritage Committee has been trying to get in place as well. When we build a new building, try to have it match the existing houses around it in sort of style of architecture, in color palette, in placement of garages, front doors, etc. So maybe that's something we could look at in this report as well.
CEO McNeely.
So, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Roloman's comment about character of neighborhood, style of houses, and similar, there is a condition requiring an architectural brief that will address a number of those questions that you've just raised. That's then implemented through a development agreement and registered on the title. So at the time of the future building permit, if the lot is created, the architectural brief would be brought into play through that future building permit application. And so things like the massing, orientation of the garage and the like would be part of that architectural brief.
Councilor
What we were
McCreary.
trying to address with that sketch drawing that shows the residence proposed was because of the jog in the lot line, we wanted to make sure that a home could actually be accounted for and respect the side yard setbacks as enshrined in that zone classification. So that drawing that you see was to serve two purposes. Could a functional residence be constructed in the house given the jog in the proposed lot line? And what was the massing along the street for the properties to the north and south of 250 Northumberland?
Councilor McCreary.
I'd like to say that I agree with what Councillor Gillespie has said about not liking the small lots, but I also agree with what Councillor Ostner is saying, that infill is allowed and we have been allowing these lots. So it's going to be difficult for us to turn down one that's similar to something we've already approved. But overall, we have to remember that we're trying to make efficient use of the land that we have. And we are sort of, in some sense, running out of land. We're trying to grow in a responsible manner. And if we don't allow infill like this, the end result will eventually be that we take up another farmer's field and we lose more farmland because we'll have to just expand out outside of the urban boundary of air and take more farmer land away.
You can't,
So-
based on provincial policy and based on the regional plan, you cannot go outside the urban boundary.
But the point I was trying to make is we need to allow this type of infill so that we don't have to go outside. People need a place to live. We have to put them somewhere, and infill provides those places for people to live, and it reduces the pressure on municipalities to go out and take more farmland.
Councillor Oster, you have a question. You're almost out of questions, but go ahead.
Thank you. And when we're talking about lot frontage and close to the street, I mean, it's the same thing. That theory wasn't taken into effect at the Gore, because those houses are a lot closer to the street than the general streetscape. So I mean, I agree, we have to set precedents and we have to be consistent, but that street's not consistent. Those houses that back onto Northumberland Street are very close to the road.
C.R. McNeely, can you answer for me the lot size of the one that backs onto Victoria Park? What would that frontage be? Do you know offhand? Just as a comparison for future reference.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, which lot are we talking about?
It's not Water Street. What street is it, gentlemen, that backs onto Victoria Park?
There's Water Street backs onto Victoria
Okay,
Park.
so is it that one?
I'm sorry, are we talking about 60 Water where we have the minor variance application?
Yes, yes.
Well, this lot is substantially larger.
Okay, that's good to know. If there's no other questions, Ms. Sage, you do not have to read the 10-page document in its entirety. So if you'd like to just read the document, please. It's not 10 pages,
Yeah.
but it's long.
Certainly, Mayor Foxton. Moved by Councillor Ostner and seconded by Councillor Gillespie that the Committee of Adjustment receive PD report number 31-2021, and that's as presented in the staff report. Mayor Foxton, your vote for that?
Oh,
Councillor Rollman?
Councillor Bowman, you're muted.
Did it work? Oh, there you go. Yes.
Councillor Oster?
Yes.
Councillor McCreary?
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you. And thank you. And now we'll move the people. The next one, come in, please.
Okay, we're ready.
Thank you, Cynthia. This is report number PD 32-2021, consent application B-09/20, B-10/20, B-11/20, B-12/20, 115 Correspondence Street, Air. Notice was given to those who requested it. The Secretary Treasurer will record everyone who has commented on this application, attended and/or have registered with the Clerk's Division to attend the meeting this evening. Those individuals will be notified of the decision or the convening of future meetings. Shahid Agal, planner who will be presenting this application. Shahid, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So staff is presenting the consent application B09 through B12/20. There are 4 consent applications for the property 1154 Swan Street. Just to give you some background, on March 23rd, staff presented the report just to provide the overview of the proposed development and also solicit comment from the interested member of public, agencies and department and stakeholder. The property is located. So based on that, staff is presenting the recommendation report for the committee consideration on merits of the application. So the property is located within built-up area of the community of Air, which is and the property is municipally addressed 1154 Swan Street. So the property is approximately 3,433 square meter in size, with a lot frontage of 50.77 meter on Swan Street. The subject property is serviced by municipal water and sanitary services. As you can see in the picture, the subject property consists of single detached dwelling and also detached garage as well. And the northern limits of the site contain an easement in favor of the Enbridge gas for the purpose of high pressure gas transmission pipeline. The balance of the property is landscape grassed and contains several mature trees. So just to give you overview of the proposed consent application, as you can see on the map, the applicant proposing 2 semi-detached building in the form of 4 freehold residential unit, as you can see on the map, and also proposing the Enbridge gas easement, which will be incorporated in the lot. The proposed lot would be varied in size from approximately 556 square meter to 1,742 square meter in area, with corresponding lot frontage of 8.5 meter to 25.27 meters in width. So the easement is proposed on the northern portion of the property to recognize the existing Enbridge gas pipeline corridor with reconfigured lot boundary, as you can see on the map. The existing residence and accessory building are proposed to be removed. Each proposed dwelling unit is to have driveway access on Swan Street. On yesterday, May 25th, Council also approved the zoning bylaw amendment application to bylaw number 3246.21 with exception 20.1.331. So the applicant also submitted the zoning bylaw amendment application concurrently with the consent application to facilitate the two semi-detached buildings. And the council approved that zoning bylaw amendment application, and the proposal was to rezone the property for zone 2A rural residential to zone 5A urban residential, and propose zone 12 where you can see the Enbridge gas easement, and the no development will be allowed in the Enbridge gas easement site. So staff also circulated the application package to agencies department. No comments and concerns received from any agencies. We also circulated the notice of public meeting to adjacent property owner. The staff didn't receive any comments concern from the neighboring property as well. So based on the planning analysis, staff understand that the proposed consent application aligned with the intent of the provincial, regional, and township statutory plan. For example, provincial policy statement, growth plan, regional official plan, township official plan, because they're all statutory plan directed to the state that the development should direct to the settlement area where intensification is encouraged. As I mentioned, no comments concern received from any department, agency, no comments concern received from any member of public, and the size and configuration of the lot are consistent with the typical form of development. You will be noticed that there's already a precedent of a similar form of development just north of the subject property on the opposite side of the Swan Street. So there's already 2 single detached building approved in that area. As I mentioned, the applicant also submitted the zoning application concurrently with the consent application, which has been approved by council, and to facilitate the proposed new semi-detached dwelling the owner, as a part of the redevelopment, will demolish the existing residence and accessory detached building. And this matter can be addressed as a condition to provisional approval of the consent application, which is also attached with this report. Staff understand that the proposed development will contribute to meet the assigned target by the region of Waterloo of the new intensification redevelopment dwelling unit of 552 residences by 2031 within the build-up area. So all, as I mentioned, that all statutory plans, they encourage development and infill development in the settlement area and the build-up area. When the staff circulated the application package to agencies and departments, so the township consulting engineer also expressed provided some comments, and which will be addressed through the development agreement. For example, the stormwater management and also drainage service. So that kind of comments will be addressed through the development agreement process. So based on the planning analysis, the staff recommending to the committee that the proposed consent applications be approved. The condition to the provisional approval for each of 4 consent applications are identified in the recommendations section of the report, which has been already submitted to the committee. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Shahid. Brendan, would you like to have anything to say?
Good evening, Mayor Foxton, members of committee. Thank you, Shahid, for your presentation. We support the staff recommendation as written and the conditions as provided. Sorry, I see you leaning in. Maybe I'll speak up to make sure you can hear me.
Thank you, Brandon.
Support the staff report as written and the proposed conditions as provided. As noted, there are similar units just across the street and to the north that were previously built by the same builder. A similar form for these units or these dwellings is proposed. I think they've been very well received in the market. So look forward to any questions you might have. But other than that, I'm just here to answer questions as you may see fit.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Roman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The question I have is on page 3 of the report, section D. We talk about the $6,000 cash in lieu. I just wanted a clarification. So on the previous application, they created 1 lot and were required to pay $6,000 for our park trust. But in this case, they're creating 3 lots and only have to give $6,000. Why the same amount? Shouldn't it be so much per lot? I would have thought they would have had to pay more than the previous application.
CEO McNeely.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Rowland. So they are paying for each of the 3 new lots, the equivalent of $6,000 per lot. So there would be a sum of $18,000 paid to the township for Park Trust. The rate is set out in the township's fee and charges bylaw for consent applications for residential lots.
I also, Madam Mayor, I also wanted a follow-up comment. I just wanted to point out that I'm disappointed that we were unable to work out a trail connection with this developer that was suggested at the previous meeting.
Thank you, Councilor Roman. And it makes you make an interesting point there, Councilor Roman. It says the owner applicant pays the township the sum of $6,000 as cash in lieu of payment at parkland. It doesn't say $6,000 per. Am I incorrect in reading that, CEO McNeely?
Yes, Madam Mayor, because each proposed lot is its own decision. And so that condition you see is repeated for each of the new lots. It does not apply to the easement because there's no lot being created. That's just a change in the property description to recognize the reconfigured lot boundary in the context of the easement. But that condition for the Park Trust is repeated for each of applications 9, 10, and 11. And so there'll be a sum of $18,000 cash in lieu provided.
Thank you for that clarification. Is there any other questions? Ms. Sage, you do not have to read the motion in its entirety. So carry on.
Certainly. So moved by Councillor McCreary and seconded by Councillor Rollman that the Committee of Adjustment receives PD report number 32-2021, and that's as presented in the staff report. Mayor Foxton, your vote for that?
Yes.
Councillor Rollman,
Yes.
Councillor Ossner,
Yes.
Councillor McCreary,
Yes.
and Councillor Gillespie.
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good evening, Brandon. Take care. And now can I have the motion to adjourn the Committee of Adjustment and go back into council, please?
Moved by Councillor Rollman and seconded by Councillor Gillespie that pursuant to the Planning Act, the public meeting of the Committee of Adjustment be adjourned at 7:44 p.m. and the council meeting be called back to order. Mayor Foxton,
Yes, please.
Councillor Rollman,
Yes.
Councillor Oster,
Yes.
Councillor McCreary,
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie.
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you. And the motion to go into close, please. Oh, do we have to switch and go back into close? So we will do the motion to go into close, then we will sign off and come back in on the new link.
Yes, we'll do the motion first and then, yeah. Moved by Councillor Gillespie and seconded by Councillor Rollman that council move into a closed meeting session at 7:45 p.m. under the Municipal Act, Section 239, subsection 2, subsection B, D, and F to discuss 1, report number PD-35-2021, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, Municipal Act, Section 239, subsection 2, subsection F, and 2, report number CAO-15-2021, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, Municipal Act, Section 239, subsection 2, subsection B, and labor relations or employee negotiations, Municipal Act, Section 239, subsection 2, subsection D. Mayor Foxton,
Yes.
Councillor Rollman,
Yes.
Councillor Ossner,
Yes.
Councillor McCreary,
Yes.
Councillor Gillespie,
Yes.